Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Get Crystallized Show. I'm your host, Coach Crystal. And like crystals, strong women are made under pressure. And today I have an amazing guest with me, Kathy Davis. Kathy Davis is a plant based lifestyle coach and recipe developer, the CEO of veganspire.com, and the author of 3 cookbooks: the 30-minute whole food plant-based cookbook, the super easy plant-based cookbook, and the budget friendly plant-based diet cookbook. She helps people successfully transition to a plant-based way of eating that supports a fast-paced lifestyle without requiring hours in the kitchen or added stress. I am super excited to have Kathy join me. Again, she is a plant-based lifestyle coach, and she today is going to share tips to move past the dietary status quo and follow your dreams to live a life of wellness and happiness. Align your mindset with your goal and take the next step to the life you dream about. I just got chills. Who's ready? I'm going to now get her into the room with us. Yay, Kathy! Woo!
Hi, Crystal.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
I am so excited for this. I would love, firstly, Kathy, for you to share like a little bit about you, your background, your story, and how did you, become this plant-based lifestyle coach?
Absolutely. So thank you, first of all, for having me here. I really appreciate it. I love sharing my story. I have actually been eating and creating vegan meals for more than 7 years, almost 8 years. And my husband really kind of brought it all together. He was like, I think we need to eat plant-based. I think it's the optimum diet. Like, I think we need to do this. And I was like, whoa, I don't know about that. I was pretty resistant, which I find is really relatable to a lot of people. We hear that eating more plants is healthy, but to actually make that full transition is a little scary. And so I kind of leaned into it. And the more eating of plant-based meals that I ate, the more I realized I could do it. So that was about 7.5, 8 years ago. And over the past 2 years, I've really shifted my daily habits to follow more of a whole food plant-based lifestyle, really like leaning into the nourishing foods as close to nature intended. And I've experienced tremendous results. And I always say, like, I didn't know how bad I was feeling until I started feeling better, more energy, a renewed sense of joy, just this happiness, and then an overall healthy mind and body. And I love sharing my story because there's so many of us that go through life on that hustle, that 9 to 5, that couch coma, and we really end up like exhausted. And if we just changed a little bit of what we ate, we might be able to really maximize our energy and live out our dreams. And that it's great to kind of be here and share this status quo story, because there's so many of us that kind of get stuck in that status quo,
Yes.
even though we want something different.
I'll admit I'm not vegan. However, one of my coaches on my team is vegan. We call her our vegan chef. And everything, and I've taken her virtual cooking classes. We offer that inside our program. And everything she makes, from her her protein buns to her her cheese dip, is amazing. And one of my memes inside our group is, if you eat crap, you feel like crap. And you exactly nailed it in the head. If you're eating whole foods, man, the abundance of nutrients that you're getting into your body obviously is going to affect your energy and your mindset and your mood. I mean, when you're eating all this processed stuff, um, you're going to feel lethargic. It's going to bring you down. It's going to bring your mood down. There's that, mood swings even. And you're absolutely right. Our audience is definitely busy, 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 busy. So I would love, to hear how you've kind of are living your dreams awake now that you are a plant-based lifestyle coach.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because over the last 7 years, I've really worked on mindset for probably the last 12, but over the last 7 years, as I've been eating more plant-based, I've encountered so many people who want to follow their plant-based dream. And then even people outside of plant-based living, like maybe they want something entirely different. but they really end up right back where they started, which, as I said before, I call it the status quo. And what I realized with status quo is that it's comfortable. And it's often more comfortable for us to push off our dreams and continue with the same patterns because that's comfortable than to avoid the change or avoid the potential failure or avoid the unknown. And I find that really happens a lot with people who want to change what they eat. Their stories often follow that similar plot. The climax is like they get started, they want it, and then there's a little bit of a failure and they fall off, right? They hear about plant-based eating for energy or health or wellness, but they're too busy. They don't have the time. They don't have the energy. And I'm like, oh, if you did a little bit more, if you ate a little bit healthier and got that energy, you would have the energy. You'd be able to maximize that time. Or, sometimes they even encounter a resistance. Maybe they have a negative comment from a friend or family member who's like, oh, well, you can't eat vegan. Where are you going to get your protein? Or, oh, you can't eat plant-based. You've got to have meat for this or dairy for that. And they're like, their life's too chaotic for them to have the resources to really back up why they're doing it. Or they try a new recipe and it fails. Or they're overwhelmed by too much information, right? Like they're checking out all these people, all these Instagram accounts, all these groups, all these books. And they're like, oh, it's like drinking out of a water hydrant. I just have too much information. It's like the information overload. And they start to overcomplicate the change. And I find that's when they pivot right back to status quo.
So if I had someone, if one of our listeners is like, it's, they've been thinking about it, but like you said, they're drinking from the fire hydrant, too much information. Like, where do they even begin?
Yeah, well, and we talked a little bit about really aligning that, or you mentioned aligning your mindset with your goal, right? Status quo does not get us the results we desire. So one way that we can really proceed is to take that imperfect action. Take that action that aligns your mindset. I want to eat this way because this is who I want to become. This is the goal I want to achieve. And then take action that supports that goal. So many times we get sucked into, I'll just cheat, right? That diet mindset culture. And it's like, no, it's not a cheat. We're making a lifestyle change. Take the imperfect action. Maybe it's planning to eat plant-based meals for every breakfast or every lunch or every Monday, right? What is the meal that has the least resistance for you to change? Start there. Track how you feel, because it's often those little bits, that little bit of extra sleep, that little bit of extra energy that's going to keep you coming back to that plant-based breakfast or that salad with grains and beans for lunch, because you're noticing how your body feels.
Oh, I love that. I love that you, like, in a nutshell, it's small steps. And you're absolutely right. Those small steps. And what I also loved, because we do this a lot inside our program, is tracking. How did I feel? You're absolutely right. Because so many, of women that come to us, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well, they're just so numb because all they know is how to feel crummy. And all they know is like being tired all the time, and they don't know anything else. So if you track, wow, like because I ate that, I'm not as bloated, I'm not having a big crash, that I actually feel good, then okay, yeah, you'll actually know, you know what, this is working. And I love the fact that you basically said, well, what is your why? What's your why? What is your goal? What is the intention? Why do you want to do that? And I completely agree. And we also practice this is, well, you got to know your why. Otherwise, all of those excuses, like you said, or the influences from like family, friends, they're just going to bombard you. But if you have a deep enough why, then it doesn't matter what they say. You're just going to take that little baby step, one step at a time. And I bet, and I'm sure you've experienced this with your clients, sooner than later, their family and friends are like, what are you doing? You're different. You have more energy. And then you're like, well, remember the thing that you said I couldn't do, right?
Yeah, I did it. And now look at me. Like, I feel great. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And people will be like, oh my gosh, you look great. You have more energy. You just seem happier. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you on? I need some of that. And you're like, plants. Yeah. I just eat more plants.
I just eat more plants. That needs to be your shirt, Kathy. I just eat more plants. Like,
Yeah, that's it. That's perfect. I'll coin that. I'm right on top of that.
yeah, awesome. So other than, maybe replacing one meal a week or, just like you said, just adding more plants in your diet, what else would you do? What else would you have a beginner do?
Yes, I always say try something new every week. So like while you're replacing a meal, like that's more intentional. But maybe you go to the grocery store and you try a new vegetable, or you try a new
Mm,
grain, or you try a new fruit. Maybe you try one new recipe. Maybe it's a brand new recipe that you get from one of those plethoras of inspiration that we have out there. Or maybe it's an adaptation of your favorite recipe. Maybe
ooh, that's good.
you swap in like lentils for meat sauce, or maybe you do veggie tacos or potato tacos instead of meat tacos. And that was something we ate a lot. Like when I was transitioning, I really needed familiar foods. So if you are transitioning and you're like, I love potatoes, I don't think I love tofu, you don't have to eat tofu and grass as a vegan. Like you can eat real food, potato, beans, brown rice, vegetables. You can eat all of that. So swapping those in and out. And then usually my third tip is something more about something really intentional. So maybe it's you start to buy a non-dairy creamer, or you try a non-dairy yogurt. I like to recommend ones that really are unsweetened, have a lot of not a lot of ingredients, like few ingredients, more of a clean version, and then sweeten it up with some fresh fruit or a little maple
Mm,
syrup or some dates, really using going back to more of those whole unrefined foods. Maybe
mhm.
it's just simply starting with plant-based broths, maybe a mushroom broth or a vegetable broth in your
Mm.
soups and chilies. Maybe it's looking at trying new sauces. We have a recipe on our website that everybody loves. It's a cashew garlic aioli, and it's made with cashews and water and garlic.
You
And
said
it's
all
so
the things
good.
that are my favorite in one sentence.
Yes, cashew garlic aioli. It's perfect. But you can use it for so many things. You can make it into a ranch. You can make it into like a yum yum sauce for like a stir fry. You can make it into like a spread for a like BLAT or a BLT with, maybe a tempeh or vegan bacon. I mean, really
Yeah.
starting to try different things and also give yourself some grace. Like these lifestyle changes don't happen overnight. And sometimes they can be super messy in the beginning, but being able to take that imperfect action and move confidently toward that goal, supporting your why and really taking imperfect and, effective actions can really help you ditch that status quo mindset where you're like, I'll just go back to what's comfortable, because what's
Yeah.
comfortable isn't getting us to our goals.
1000%. That's, the comfort zone. It's not just a cute saying, right? Magic does happen outside of the comfort zone. And a lot of the times, like you said, our comfort zone is keeping us stuck.
Yeah.
So what was it like then when you went completely vegan? Like what was your mindset like? What practices did you go through so that you, because I mean that is a big lifestyle shift. That's a big lifestyle shift. So what did you do?
Yeah. So that was, like I said, that was about 7.5, 8 years ago. And the big thing for me was familiar foods. I did not eat a variety of vegetables before I went plant based. I did not like beans. I was very, very much a skeptic on making this lifestyle change because I was afraid. And I really had to kind of push through that fear of failure or not enjoying the foods and really giving them a try. We did a lot of, simple meals. Like I said, like a cashew sauce for butter, like a cashews and vegetable broth blended together over pasta with veggies. We did a lot of potato tacos. And I remember thinking with every meal that I tried, maybe I can do this. Maybe it is going to be okay. And then the next really big change was ditching the processed vegan foods because there are so many. I
Right.
mean, this was just 2 years ago, and there are so many amazing vegan products on the market that taste good, but they do have a lot of the processed ingredients that I that don't make me feel good. A lot of
Right.
sugar, a lot of sodium, a lot of unrefined carbohydrates, a lot
Yeah.
of weird chemical ingredients. And I knew that I wasn't feeling good. I was overweight. I mean, I lost 40 pounds switching to this way of eating and really
Wow.
taking that control back and making intentional choices. And I remember thinking, the biggest thing is, who do I want to become? Like, what is the outcome I want? Like, weight is one thing, but the person that I became is different. I mean, the results have been just such a 180. Like, I'm happier and healthier and more energized. I don't know if we talked about this earlier, but I travel the country full time in an RV.
No, you
So
didn't. I was waiting. I wanted you to share that. That was in your bio, but I'm like, no, I want to hear from her. So tell me about that. What? How did that even begin?
yes. So about 3.5 years ago, we decided that my husband and I, we were going to sell our house and buy an RV and travel the country. So we bought a 35-foot fifth wheel.
I mean, that is like TV show. Like, you need to have your own TV show. I would watch it. Like a reality TV show. Honestly, that is amazing. You only hear that on TV, but you're living it. It's amazing.
That's really like ditching the status quo, right? Like, we ditched the white picket fence and the 9 to 5 jobs and commutes and all that. And we work from campgrounds outside of the national parks. But one of the biggest benefits to eating plant-based is now I have the energy to do the hikes, to go and explore the parks. And that was my whole goal. Like, I just wanted to get out and see the country. And, for the first year on our trip, I was always like seeing it from the truck. Like, I wasn't really getting out and exploring the parks. And now I have this renewed sense of energy. I can hike longer. I recover faster. And it's just been amazing. We've been to some incredible places.
Okay, so I know you have 3 cookbooks, but you realize you also have to write like an autobiography, like your travels, the Kathy's travels. Like, I don't know, it has to be something like that, like my RV life. Like, you seriously need to write a book, and
Yes.
then interspersed like your recipes, honestly, because that is so amazing. And I love the fact, like, for my listeners, it's like, they're all on this quest to live a healthier lifestyle in mindset, in body, and in spirit. And at the end of the day, it's so that they can do amazing things like hike and enjoy the bodies that they have been blessed with at its absolute maximum. Whereas, there's so many of us, especially corporate, that are stuck behind, jobs and just like, this hamster wheel. And then when they have the opportunity to go out and live their life, they don't have the energy to, right? Or their
Right.
weight holds them back. And they don't have the energy to hike, to swim, to bike, to do all those amazing things that you now do on a regular. And I like, as you were describing it, I'm picturing you like on the hike and just like what you see and where you can meditate and just like, wow, what a life. What a life. What a blessing. So how long, like, it's just for however long, there's no real, like,
It's just, we always say we go as far as we can see, and when we'll get there, we'll see further and decide. So right now it's for as far as we can see. We love it. Like I said, we've been doing it for 3 years. We'll celebrate our 3-year anniversary in just a couple of weeks. And it's amazing. I wrote the cookbooks from the RV. I do cooking shows and live shows right from there. Like, I'm sitting in my little office and in my RV space, and it's incredible. And right now we're parked on top of a mountain overlooking the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's like a dream come true every day.
And I'm like, okay, so, the pandemic happened, man, like, what a perfect time, right? I mean, that didn't stop you from enjoying nature, you were still living your dream.
Yes, still living our dream, a little bit more confined, a little bit more outside, away from other people. But yeah, we were in the right place. I felt like at the right time.
1000%. Like, I can't even imagine being, stuck in a gorgeous place for the pandemic. Oh, wow, right? Like, oh my gosh, what a blessing. So I always love to, have my guests share, what is your legacy?
My biggest goal is to really inspire people to eat more plants and be able to take what I've learned and the joy that I have in my life and impart that on them. I want that so much for my clients and my listeners and just people who are in my space to really be able to harness the joy that they have and step out of that comfort zone, because I think so many of us just get stuck in, you called it the hamster wheel, and that's so true. And the more I ate plants and the more I fed my body just nourishing things and made choices that aligned with my goals, the better my life became.
Oh, so good. So firstly, I'm going to add some links where they can buy, where our listeners can buy your cookbooks, number one, because I know our colleague is raving about your cookbooks and has you basically by his side, helping him and his family evolve and eat more plant-based. So firstly, I'm going to add that link. And secondly, where else can we find you?
Yes. So I'm very active on Instagram at Veg Inspired, and I can send you that link too. And then I also host my own group, the Veg Inspired Foodies, and I moderate that group as well. So people can come in and ask questions and get the support that they need as they, start this plant-based journey as well.
Okay. I'm going to add all of those links in. Because I'm just in awe of your life. Honestly, you're living the life. Wow. Can you promise me to write like Kathy's like the RV, my RV life? Can you please? Like, honestly,
I think that's a great idea.
You really need to. Yes, please. And mention me somewhere in there, because I will buy it. And because I think what an amazing life. It's so unique, and you need to share it with the world and you take pictures. I'm sure you have a ton of pictures of everywhere you've gone and how inspiring that may be. So, I'm sure you're inspired to create recipes by the places that you have been. So that would be a really cool kind of like amalgamation of all of your passions. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm thinking it could be a coffee table book, right? With like beautiful pictures from the places
beautiful
we've
pictures
been.
of where you were, some recipes, and you're like in like a dear diary, you know what I mean? Because like, because who can like, it's so unique. You need to write it. Like you really do.
I need to start it right now. Like after we get off this, I need
right
to
now.
get into it.
Like right now. And I'll pre-order. Okay. I'll pre-order, because that's
Perfect.
amazing. That's amazing. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Kathy. I mean, the joy and the your experience, and I mean, my goodness, 3 cookbooks and just your passion and mission. Really at the end of the day, like, yeah, the catalyst is eating vegan, eating more plant-based, but really, what I'm hearing is that you want people to live their best lives and to not miss out, and to live their dreams, right? And a life of wellness and happiness. So I applaud you. I think that's amazing. Give a high five to your hubby, because wow, like amazing to also have that kind of support and him being on the same page as you. That's amazing. So
awesome.
Thank you, Kathy. And I hope I get to have you again on our show, and perhaps we can maybe I can get you to do a little cooking show for my group.
Ooh, that would be fun. I'd love
to. Okay. So all the links I will be posting inside the bio here, everyone. Thank you, all of you who are here live. Make sure you put #replay if you end up watching the replay. Otherwise, I will add all the links. So if you want to learn more, be coached, buy her cookbooks, I will put all of the links for with Kathy. You'll see that soon. Thank you again, Kathy. You are exactly what awesome looks like. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Crystal. Bye.